Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. This is Mike Brenner. This is the MLB Odds Couple show for Tuesday, August 2nd. Let's throw the record up. Mike Brenner and I both coming off of a winning weekend and coming off of a winning Monday. Yeah. What does this mean, Mike Brenner? Are we about to embark on something kind of respectable and admirable? Maybe so.
Well, you're already there. I'm trying to get there, Pistol Pete.
I mean, I don't want to say the numbers out loud, but I'm not already there.
Okay, but I know one thing. You and I, we don't have no quit in us.
We're both in. Oh, absolutely.
There's no quit.
And I know one other thing. This is absolutely true. Just the way I do things, actually, in all sports, the second halves of the season and later in the seasons is when I am most profitable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's just keep it going, though. That's what I want to do.
All right, first thing we have to at least mention, the trade deadline, all sorts of crazy crap.
Wow.
I mean, really crazy crap.
Yeah.
The Rangers, first of all, that's going to be a team. Now, we saw earlier in the year the Rangers were profitable game in and game out, just was the most profitable team in baseball by far for a while. Then they slumped a little bit. I'm thinking we might see profitability. Maybe not necessarily in double digits, but profitability going forward.
It could be, and that was with Prince Fielder, who was batting .229.
Right.
Now they got Carlos Beltran to be the DH, and I just really love what they've done, and they're ready to pour it on.
And the LaCroix.
Absolutely, LaCroix and some pitchers.
Yeah, so, and the Mets, of course, added Jay Bruce. That's got to help them.
Yes,
right? I mean,
he'll be in uniform, I think, tonight, too.
Yeah, and who else got helped? I don't know. But
there's a bunch of them that got helped.
People got helped.
We could do a whole show on that.
All right, so this card is interesting because there's a lot of stuff that I'm liking, not necessarily anything that I'm loving like yesterday. Yesterday was like a play that I loved.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the first thing I'm thinking about. I did wind up going on Minnesota yesterday.
Ooh, good
first
call.
half. Yeah, first half.
Call.
And,
Come on.
And I'm feeling the exact same way. Yesterday I took first half, second half, full game, all of them cash. Feeling the exact same way about today's game.
Hey, listen,
Carrasco against Gibson.
Yeah.
Gibson is, look, he's terrible in his career, basically, but his last two starts have been good.
Yeah, I know it. And I thought maybe Cleveland would be due for a bounce back, but Minnesota just kept pounding last night.
Yeah, they're a scrappy team. Yeah. Not necessarily that I'm looking to bet on them, but if you give me this kind of an underdog line, I probably
it's that
will.
kind of bet that if it does loses, you know what, you're okay with it.
And I did bet him on the overnight, and I did bet him on the first half. You have anything to say about that game?
Yeah, I'm staying off. Cleveland was my only bet. They bit me twice yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got to sit back and see what's going on. Their batting order, I don't know what's happening, and they've got some pitching issues. Apparently Salazar, they might even be talking about sending him down.
Yeah.
And they think there's something wrong with him. I don't know, Pete. I'm staying off it, but I wouldn't talk you off the ledge. Minnesota's got to have some
All right,
confidence.
you know what I'll do? I'll take Minnesota in the second half. It's plus 115.
There you go.
I bet them on the first half. I bet them on the full game on the overnights, but I'll just man, that's a big line.
Yeah, it is a big line.
So tempting.
I was a little surprised actually.
With one winner, I could make up 2 units.
Yeah.
With just that one pick.
Yes,
but
you can.
If it loses, then I'm another unit down in the hole. So all right, I'll just take the second half plus 115 on Minnesota. But I did bet the first half at 180, and I did bet the overnight at something big. I forgot even what the exact line I got. All right, Mike Brenner, let's see. There's a lot of interesting games. What do you have for us?
Well, I like. I'm looking at a full game run line and a second half with the St. Louis Cardinals. Wainwright.
Right, yeah.
He got cooled off by back-to-back losses. The Cardinals did, so I think they're going to pick it up today.
Yeah.
They got Zach Duke from the Chi Sox to stiffen up their bullpen, and the Reds. Obviously, they're a team that's selling. Straley, I like Straley. He's got his moments, but I think today they're just going to get a little overwhelmed. One thing that needs to be said, though, the Reds have won all 5 series since the All-Star break. But when they shipped off Jay Bruce, I just think that's going to change the dynamics in the actual dugout. So I like Cardinals, Pistol Pete. Second half, we'll go with what, Pinnacle?
Okay. No, the second half, we can tell you, we can quote it right here, right now. St. Louis, minus 165.
Okay, it's a little high,
healthy line,
but I like it. I think with Straley gone, it's healthy. I like it. So I'm going to take that, and then full game money line,
Full game money line for St. Louis. Best line we can give you is also a little high at Pinnacle, minus 157.
All right, that's a little higher than I like.
And I have SBR odds fired up here. You can cancel any of those once you hear the lines. Up to you, Mike Brenner.
I like the way your style. You know what? I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to take the 151 on the money line.
And that game, I'll tell you what I did. I bet it on the under, on the overnight. I took the under. Let me see.
I got to ask you, though, Pete, because you've had a good call, a good read on Wainwright. Do you think he comes out firing today on all cylinders?
I think he has a good start.
Okay.
Good. The only question is just Straley. What does Straley do? All right. I bet it on the overnight. I got 9. Now it's 8.5. Going down a little bit. I'm still going to think about it. I'm still going to think about that. All right, what else do we have? We have Toronto and Houston. Now that was one that I totally missed. That was one of those games where like I handicapped it 15 minutes after it started, and I was like, oh my God, Houston,
Houston.
in the under, and I missed it, totally missed it.
If
Toronto,
I'm correct, wasn't that a 2-1 win or something? 12 innings.
Toronto had Donaldson was out, and Tulowitzki was out.
Was that for injuries or rest?
No, for injuries. And Donaldson is questionable today. He had a thigh contusion or something like that, and Tulowitzki's definitely out. Donaldson is questionable, but McCullers, not lights out, but getting a lot of strikeouts. And Dickey shaky.
A ton of strikeouts.
Dickey shaky, right? The knuckleball. I mean, I don't know how age affects a knuckleball, so it goes from slow and not hittable to slow and hittable. But
and Pete, I think the second part of the season, someone like Dickey that is getting a little older, I think I look to maybe even fade him at times. I'm even thinking the first half on that with Houston's a sharp call.
I mean, I bet Houston on the -1 line on the overnight. And
what's Houston on the first 5, Pistol Pete?
On the first 5 money line.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it! On the first 5 innings money line for Houston is we can give you -165.
Whoa, too high for my liking. Got to back off of that one. Okay, I'm just going to stay off it, but interested to see what's going on with that team.
All right, what else do you have for us, Mike Brenner?
I like LA today. I like Shoemaker. He dominated Oakland both times this year. All right, he literally is he's in the zone when he plays them, and I don't know why. And Manea's been struggling on the road, big time on the road. 0-3 with a 6.99 his last 3 on the road. All right, I like LA on the full game money line.
Full game money line.
Talk to me, Pistol
best line we can give you would be nice, at betonlinesportsbetting.ag -140.
See, I like that. I think that's a decent line. I think LA's got more reasons. They're both mired in last place, but they're only 11 games under 500, and believe it or not, LA thinks they can still get it done.
Sure.
So I think they're going to just start pounding the bats today. Oakland, I just don't see them doing anything.
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, Manea's been great in his last 4 starts, I think, but he
on the road,
he's a youngster, very up and down when he was horrible.
Yeah.
I predicted he would have a good run, and he did, and I definitely would predict inconsistency going forward.
Sure.
More good starts, but definitely some down starts, and if you can time those. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Oh, we have Cole and Fultonavich. That one I also bet on the under on the overnight. I got 8. Fultonavich a little bit shaky, but Pittsburgh can hit. Pittsburgh has some bats. Cole's been pitching well. It's tempting to take Pittsburgh as a big favorite here, but it's too high of a line for me.
Didn't Cole have a good outing his last game, too?
Since he came back from the DL, he's been awesome.
Pistol Pete, give me Pirates on the run line. Really? Full game run line.
Full game run line. Okay, the Pirates would be best line we can give you here at SBR Odds at Pinnacle -104.
I like it. I'm glad that you just brought that up. I think, and right now is when Pittsburgh's got to put a rush on. If not, then they're going to be in trouble. So I like it, and Atlanta's obviously still building for next year. So go with it.
And then we can talk about Texas, right? They loaded up, and they got an interesting matchup. Darvish against Bundy. Darvish has been getting a ton of strikeouts, doing pretty well. Bundy also given 5 or 6 strong innings. And Baltimore is not necessarily a team. I mean, obviously, I'm looking to in general to jump on Texas in August. Not looking to jump on them so eagerly against Baltimore, though.
No, me neither. And I think it takes time for all those pieces to gel, which everything they just added. Of course, Beltran, new uniform. I'm going to sit back and see. Would it surprise me if they kicked that ass? It wouldn't. Right. But you know what? I don't like to bet against Baltimore if there's something not just absolute. Yeah, so got to stay off of that one.
Another one I bet on the overnight, I took the under in San Francisco, Philly. Now we got Bumgarner against Eflin. Maybe just Philly on the team total under would be good. He's probably going to have another great start, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Is there any reason not to like Bumgarner here? What's your take?
No, I think it's time for him to really have just one of those fantastic outings. What is that line, Pistol Pete?
Well, I took the under 7.5 at about -118, -123 or so. Now it's down to 7 at places. Bookmaker DSI still have -125. The only issue is Eflin. He's a rookie, great stuff, but can get hit. His last start he got hit.
Sure.
And sometimes with rookies, they like veteran pitchers will have a lot of times good game, bad game, good game, bad game. Rookie pitchers a lot of times will have like chunks of 3 and 4 games. Yeah. Good games 3, good game, bad games 3 and 4.
But you got to look at the other side of that coin, Pistol Pete, and the Giants batting. Their bats aren't scaring anybody. They're not. I mean, not a bunch, not consistently.
Right.
Not consistently. I don't know. I just
they're hitting
stay off
poorly with runners in scoring position since the All-Star break, though, and that's something that'll probably even out. Will it even out here?
What's the full game run line, just for
San
shits and
Francisco?
giggles?
For San Francisco, the full game run line would be -122 would be the best line at Pinnacle.
I'm gonna stay off of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else you have for us?
I've got one other one,
right,
Pistol Pete, with 2 calls on it. I'm gonna go with it. I'm going with Boston. All right. They lost last last night, or they won last night. I think it was 2-1.
Yes, they won.
Okay. All right. LeBlanc's on the mound. Last pitched was July 23rd. He gave up 3 runs in 3 innings in a relief role. I just think Price is going to settle down. He seems to pitch better on the road. He pitched well versus the Angels. His last time out gave up 7 hits, so and not a bunch of runs. So I like it. I think Boston second half. I'm looking at second half. What would that be?
Boston on the second half. Let's see. I will find this one for you. Let's see. Boston on the second half. Let me just scroll down. Scrolling down. Minus, okay, you just think about this for a second, okay? Minus 180.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, that's high. Okay, because I looked at, all right, no, I can't do that. How about a full game run line with Boston?
See, this is why checking the lines is very important.
It is. It's very important.
Full game run line with Boston. Best line we could offer would be at Pinnacle plus 102.
I'm taking it. I'm going to take that. The full game run line plus 102. I think Boston starts to pound it, and I think Ortiz, Pedroia has really been hitting the ball very well. I think they're going to continue. Seattle, I don't know what's going on. So
I'll tell you, that Seattle second half at plus 155 is looking kind of tempting now that I see that line. Yeah, and I took a small shot with the I had a big winner with the under last night. That was a big play. And I took a small shot with the under on this one as well on the overnight 8. All right, is that it for you, Mike?
That's
Brenner?
it for me, buddy. Yep.
All right, I don't know. I've only given one official pick, Minnesota on the second half.
You got to pull the trigger.
There's a lot of small leans. Well, I already pulled the trigger on Minnesota second half, but there's a lot of small leans that I have. Why don't you review and let me just try to make heads or tails of this.
I'm going to go Pirates full game run line today, minus 104. I'm taking Boston full game run line plus 102. That's with Price on the mound. All right, I'm going Cardinals second half minus 165. It's a little high, but I like them to pour it on. And also full game money line minus 151. And to wrap it up today, I'm going LA Angels full game money line minus 140 with Shoemaker on the mound, Pistol Pete.
Why don't you plug something so I can have another 15 seconds here to think about this.
Sportsbook review, guys. It's not even a plug. It's reality, all right? Line shopping is everywhere. It's everything. And right now we got college football coming up. So you're going to get better lines on one book than you will another with NFL. So do your line shop and find out where you need to open your accounts up and get with the guys that are going to pay you, all right? If they're not rated top A+ with us, all right, then guess what? They're maybe not paying you. So come on, Pistol Pete. You got to pull the trigger.
I don't know. Larry, let me check these totals, and I'll throw a couple totals on there.
He is totals Loshak.
Let me see. The Texas-Baltimore under is tempting. All right, I'll give San Francisco Philly under 7.5 minus 125.
Okay.
At bookmaker. And let's see what else.
That's a
that
good line.
St. Louis, Cincinnati is tempting. The Boston. Jeez, that one's tempting.
Come on, Pistol.
I don't know.
Hell, it's Tuesday.
Yeah. You know what? I'll just stick with those two. I'll just stick with those two. Minnesota second half and San Francisco Philly. There's a lot of real borderline ones, but just two borderline.
And I think in the next few days, when all these teams that have made trades, we're going to start to see who does what cream rises to the top, and then look out. May start jumping on some sides.
And I have a feeling that some matchups are going to jump out. Like this card, there's no real matchups like Texas against Baltimore, but there's going to be like a few times when Texas matchup against a team I want to fade, and then I'm probably going to be on them.
I agree.
All right, that does it for Tuesday, August 2nd. Hopefully Mike Brenner and I continue our winning. We'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday card.
Always on the go? Bet365 has one of the top mobile platforms in today's market. Sign up today and don't let your busy life keep you out of the game.